Alrighty folks, thank you for tuning in to another T-Man's How To. This is Fanstoys Dracula's stand. He is by no means secure on here. It is just balancing in luck. And I didn't think he was going to fall off that quick. But, update on my opinions on this guy. I said that I was going to do that in my full review. I like him a little bit more. Another update, I don't know how much you can tell in the videos, cameras are piss poor at detecting certain colors, especially when they're right next to other colors. And in this case, this is not blue at all, like people thought in my comments. It is purple. Like, it's not, for me, it didn't bug me too much. I mean, maybe that's the thing that's a little bit off that I was saying. I feel like something is off about him. Maybe that's it, because that's like a metallic purple more than it's not blue, it's purple. Let me see. I'm gonna be changing the light settings and see what it kind of looks like. But yeah, it's definitely purple. As an action figure, I really like him as an action figure. He's very solid. As you can see, I'm holding him by his leg and he's keeping this pose. You can't do that with the arms because the shoulders aren't nowhere near as strong as these legs. But that's cool to be able to do. And this crotch piece thing doesn't really get in the way of anything. And depending on how you have it tilted, it fakes ab crunch. So that's cool. It's just a transformation that's a mess. And I'm going to try to do that and try to do it better than my actual full video. I'm going to be doing this straight through with minimal cuts. If there's background noise, I can't control that. There are people here that are aggravating. I'm going to try to do it as smoothly and to the best of my abilities as possible. We're going to begin at the top again. First, we need to pull that back, which of course, I guess that's why this has a hinge, so you don't break that, but pull that back and then grab right here. We're gonna loosen that up. Loosening this up gives us access to this stuff. Shut that. Detach this now. There's two pegs on both sides. Detach that. Hinge this hinge right here, kind of down. Rotate this, and we might as well just make that flat while we're at it. Get that out of the way. Now from here, and the first step should have been me lifting the head out of the peg, but I didn't do that. When you lift this, it'll force that peg out anyway. Now from inside of here, we can elongate these two hinges and start shoving this control panel up completely out of the way. All right, now we can start bending these hinges that I elongated. Bring it back down like this. Bring the head sort of in this orientation right here. And we can get clearance past this right here. Now, with the head in here, we can rotate it. Swing this silverish panel past that, out to this orientation, and put the head, this little antenna, into that little opening right here. It will come out the top right there. You'll see the back of it peeking out. So now we can go ahead and shut this. Shut the console, and pretty much he's in his position that he's going to need to be in right here. And here's a step that I actually skipped in the full review. You have to squeeze these in. Now we can lift this up. This is going to flop around the whole time, so don't worry about that too much. Down here, we can make sure everything is like this, so we can rotate that. Right here, there is a little tab folded up right there, a little flat tab. Get you a spudger. I have misplaced mine. Grab that, bring it up, and we can tab this into place right here, right now. Make sure that stays straight. Come on. Push. This is taking way a lot of effort. What the heck? Yes, get that in there. Then we can go ahead and rotate the waist joint right here. At this point, fold this up so you don't forget. Keep that like that. And push these legs or this part of the thighs together right here. Before we get too far, I'm gonna get the arms started. What you need to do with the arms is kind of grab this and force it up, which I like to pry away at this because there's a peg right there and a peg down there in this light blue part. Pry at this and then force that up, and you can get that out of the way. Once you get that out of the way, we can unaccordion the forearms, and we can fold this and fold that into that space where the bicep was. Now we can rotate the fist, unhinge that, unhinge this, grab this, unpeg it from right there. There's a peg right here. Slide it around on this little die-cast hinge, and it's going to need to be in this position, but that's going to keep rocking because that's not a real firm piece. But basically things need to be in this position for later on. Let's try to do that over here. Open this up, grab up here and push that out of there. Pull that out, grab this flap and push that flap into there. Rotate the hand around, open this up, get things straight, pull this piece out on that little die-cast bar. So now on the legs, we need to shut this up, shut that up. And now we need to kind of pry this back, which will free up this right here. Be careful with this hinge right there. This is loose and that piece can break. Swing everything out like this, unpeg this, and on here, this is a leg filler. We need to take this and flatten that up right there. Just leave that dangling for now. Now we can kind of get leverage to bring out that bar, because this needs to swing up and get on the top of the thigh right there. And we can lift the foot up at this point into its position. Take this, open that, and kind of rotate it this way. Now let's try that all over again over here. I'm gonna push the foot up now though. Grab here and loosen all that up. Once you loosen that up, you should have access to this. Bring that out, flatten this leg filler piece again, unpeg that, kind of have all this dangling over there, and rotate this up to cover the front of the thigh. All right, and now we can open this right here, and we can go ahead and peg the legs together. Now that we're in this position, this slides, and why that slides, it slides over so it can meet this one, and you can collapse these together. These. Yes, I know I say these. I'm African American, I guess, and I live in a city. I try to talk as professional as possible, but some words I just can't say. Anywho, now we can rock this Correction, I can say them, I just am accustomed to saying them differently. Well, anyhow, we need to, this is the tough part. I kind of figured out a better way. And when you're bringing this down, make sure you collapse it as tight as possible. In fact, there's some pegs that go inside of the leg things right there to keep them into position. And yeah, there we go. You saw that right there. That light blue thing went into there. So now that's flat. Right here, we need to pull this up and rotate it into this orientation. These right here, and let me zoom in for this, or try to zoom in. There's a hinge right there. That needs to come forward. And then there's a secondary hinge that this rotates on. That needs to kind of bend as well. And things kind of need to be like out at that angle right here. Let's try to do that again over here. This hinge down here needs to rotate forward. This secondary hinge needs to rotate the other way. Kind of tight. I wish it wasn't so tight, because this right here moves so flimsy, and this is the part that can stress and break. But kind of have them into this orientation. I'm going to be honest with you, there's no good easy way to do this. But while this is out right here, start bringing this down, and while we're bringing that down, start swinging this kind of at the same exact time. And what I was figuring out yesterday is I'm pushing that. This, once we get that down, we'll get this further down. We can angle this like this and kind of rotate it inward like this to get it into position. Now we need to grab this stuff, force that hand into this cavity, and oh yeah, it transformed itself on that side, but I keep forgetting to transform these filler pieces back this way. Well, luckily it did that on this side. Grab this so that I can fit into there, and these pieces right here need to go into a cavity right there. It hasn't been going into that cavity all that well for me on this side, but we'll worry about that later. But now that that's into there, we can bring this kind of forward. And this right here, you pretty much need to just push it and force it up under this gray piece right there. That's all you can hope for right there. And now right here, we can push this down and get this into position right there, and kind of groove these two little pegs that you saw over top of each other. We're going to worry about this later, or I'm going to clean it up later. Make sure this is up and out of the way. All right, over here, start pushing this down and making sure that this metal square thing right here is underneath of this other die cast part, while we're pushing this under here and putting that into place. Now we need to try to do what I was just showing. Angle it like this and force it behind there, which is scary. And then once it's like pretty much in there, we need to just force this down, force that down into the end of there. Once we get this kind of in order, we need to bring this down over this, pegging that in the front, grooving this kind of into position, and then we can start forcing all this into there. There's a little peg that grabs up under there, and the piece of plastic that was right here goes into this one. Now I'm still trying to figure it out, but this wants to hang outward, but looks like I may have gotten it. Hopefully. I'm gonna squeeze this because I think this piece right here, yeah, I see it. It's not going into the slot over there for me. So I don't know what's going on right there, but I can't get this as far over as I have it over here. Let me try. I'm gonna use a lot of force off camera. Let me let y'all know, I had to use a tremendous amount of force to get that in there, but it finally clicked. We can definitely start straightening this up, pushing that up right there to meet that, squeezing all this as tight as possible. And this should finally, these two holes right there should finally be able to clip one of these. Finally, I was not able to do that. Now back here, this needs to hinge over these two clips right there. But at the same time, these little light blue pieces need to be sticking outward. So make sure they don't get caught up in there. And these need to be angled around this at the same time. So let's try to force this up into here, which we did. And now we can bring these straight out like this and kind of grab these around this. And you're gonna have to do like a final squeeze forward to get them straight into their orientation on both sides right there. So finally, now this guy is in his official car mode, better than my review. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be too secure, but yeah, here he is in his car mode. And I'm gonna see or try to figure out how they had him on that stand. All right, before robot mode, this is what we're working with down here. If we have this transformed incorrectly, if we transform it correctly, this is what we're working with. This is the stand right here. It's a 5mm or maybe smaller peg right there, and a flat little peg. I have no clue. They must have been doing a balancing act. I have no clue how they had this attached. Reverse transformation, finally, after some procrastination. First thing you want to do is take this up. Take that up. And now try to wiggle this back out of place. I'd suggest a spudger. Yay. After you get this going right here, you're going to want to pull this down because you don't want to break these pegs. But now I'm having difficulties getting this to detach from here. Damn. You don't know how much force I had to put onto that to get that off. Now let's try to, now it wants to work. Okay. Now we get that separated, we can pull this down. And before we break these right here, we need to start getting them kind of out in this direction right here. The same way we got it in there. So you kind of got to like separate while you're pushing this away at the same daggone time. We can get that down. Now let's try that over here. I'm gonna try to, let's get the legs out of the way. Now that we're getting the legs down, we can get this off of there simpler. Oh boy. And please, for the love of God, tell me I didn't just break this. Woo! Thank you. It's like a clip-on, just like Hasbro Transformers. Now we put that back on there. Oh, thank you. This isn't my toy. Alright, let's just do the legs first. We're going to rotate this way. unpeg that, push this up in here, and bring this down, clearing that, rotating this, and then we can get this up here like that. We're gonna leave all this top part and just work on the legs for now. We can separate this hinge right here. They were together like this, but now we separated it, and we can unclip everything. Now this side bit, we can lift that up on this side. At this point, this little piece, that filler piece, needs to come back up and bend here so we can have this into position right there. This metal hinge needs to be bent down at the base. We need to get this thing right here into its position, which is kind of hard to describe. You have to like hinge it out. You kind of like have to bring it up. Flip this up here. Then you gotta like slide this over and then hinge it up into that orientation. That maneuver is difficult, so now this can get more out of the way. All right, now that that's more out of the way, this knee joint right here needs to be risen up into that orientation right there. And this hinge right here, it was up like that. It needs to come down into this orientation. Start coming this way. Start maneuvering this and slotting that to where it needs to go, while squeezing the whole assembly further into the leg. Come on, man. There we go. This side is easy because that thing right there is your little nub that will let you know that it's in the right place. Once you do that and have this right here, we can go ahead and peg this. Now, let's try that again, but on this side. Take this, bring up the leg filler, and I wasted so much time. This is about to start recording. All right, now we can start lowering this right here. This should be out, and start bringing this up. It's like sliding it over. The scary part is this feels like it's gonna break, so that's what makes me nervous about moving it. Now we can start bringing this knee into the correct orientation while leaving this part out of the way, and we can start bringing this up and over. Make sure that this hinge is down. It's already down. Bringing that into its position. If you have that, I think the problem is making sure the filler piece is in the right place. It's kind of bent, so it's in place. Now we can start moving this more over and getting this part to where that needs to be. That looks about right. Get this foot out. This heel isn't the strongest pin joint right there, so that may come loose for you. Get that down, pin this together. The leg should be good. Even though I did this side, it's shut for me. I'm gonna worry about that later. Now we can push this crotch in and move these legs, these thighs, over like that. Back here, we can bring these side filler pieces down. Go ahead and lift this control panel out so we can get clearance for that. lift this part up. Come on. And now we can take these shoulder panels, or slide them out of the way of the head, give yourself more room. Bring the head out, rotate it, and then rotate this assembly so the head can come out here. Get all that good to go. Put the shoulder die cast up into this orientation. But before we shut things, grab this, rotate it, put it like this, like kind of bent, don't bend it all the way down. Lift this hinge up, push that into there, bring this little clip out, make sure the arms stay up, and peg the back on top of that little clip if it will work with you. Alrighty now we can shut this. We can start pushing these down and bring the head forward and force that into there. It's like you got to push down and forward at the same time. And now we can shut this on that. All right, now the arms. We need to lift this out, lift that up. Start accordioning that into there and shut that. Over here, bring this out. Why did I have so much? It was easier on that side. Okay, bring that up. Push this stuff into there, since I can't say that word I was just trying to say. And now over here, we need to bring that forward. Bring this up, like on the slider, and bring it around and peg this into that slot right there. Now we can shut this and this together, rotate the hand the correct way. Lift this up, slide this that way, and peg it into there. Shut this and this, rotate the hand, and get this foot, since it doesn't want to freaking work with me. All right, and now he is a freaking robot again. And let's just make sure everything, I mean, this is the correct transformation. Bring that down, but you can do what you want. You can leave that out, you can have it pinned on his back. But yeah, one thing I noticed does give me trouble after the second time transforming it. This right here, yeah, I had to like pull it out so it will line up with that. So just fiddle with it, make sure you have everything the way you want it to be, and then you should be good to go. Well, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, I think this is a cool figure, especially if you don't have to transform it. Transforming it is not fun at all, unfortunately. And the car mode, it's alright, but it doesn't roll or anything, so it's just a display piece. So you saw what it looked like. If you like the way it looks, then yeah. Normally in these videos I don't give a bunch of opinions, I just do the transformation, but what the hell. Thank y'all for watching this. Until next time, TMan 978 out of here. And also thank you, Matt the bot supplier, for supplying this for me to make this review or video. Click the videos, click the videos, baby, click the videos. You should really click these videos, click the videos, click those videos, baby, click the videos. You really should click those videos, click